Indie Mogul.
This week on Movie Quest, we fantasize about being a film noir detective in a world inside my own.
You got a case?
Try to remember the details of 88.8 Films' first date. Check Frito-Lay Payday's expiration date. Remember the 80s typography style with Schwartz 1196. And finally, Lego Batman.
What's the situation, Jim?
Also featuring the work of Broken Box Productions and CQV Films, plus a wedding video update and a recap of meeting the boss himself, Griffin Hammond, this past week. Also, my voice is shot, so I'll let the Random Revelations intro do the talking.
In a world where Hollywood has taken over all indie productions, two men have a secret plan to take it back, and it's called Movie Quest.
Hi everyone, welcome to Movie Quest this week. I am your host Russell Hasenauer, joined as usual by my co-host Chad Newhall, who has had his hands understandably shackled this week, so as to make sure he doesn't pull anything like that vicious beating of Ab last week, which, should be pointed out, he did get off on a minor technicality. Justice system at work, people. This past week was pretty interesting for me. On Friday, I got to finally meet, after knowing him online for about 9 years, my boss, Griffin Hammond, as we met up in New York for a corporate function.
We enjoyed a romantic dinner, just me and Russell.
Had a great time, although you can probably hear my voice it's not exactly 100%. Had no voice that day, so Griffin got to meet me saying kind of sounding like this. It was weird. Hope I didn't get you sick, Griffin. Now, a few things before we get started with this week's first movie. For everybody who has submitted a movie in the last couple months, you might be wondering why you haven't seen it on the show yet. Well, we underestimated just how many people were going to start sending their movies to us, and we have hundreds and hundreds to still go through after the hundreds that we've already gone through. It takes time, and I do actually sit down and watch each one in full, and then try to email back a review when I can. It's quite a workload, so one thing we're going to start doing in the future is find a way to make sure that people's movies get seen on a more regular basis. We might set up a Tumblr or a Google Plus account, something like that, where each day we'll go over a few people's movies that have been submitted. Might also take into consideration other people's reviews and comments if we do start posting them that way. When we have something official set up, we'll make sure to announce it here. I mean, the movies we're showing they were submitted over a month ago. That's how far behind we are. It's very tough when you can only showcase 5 movies a week to get through as many good ones as we've received. Also, if you've been following the saga that is who is going to be doing my wedding video, you'll know that Matthew Planer weeks back had put up a video saying why he should be the one to do it, and I said he could do it, but then he was challenged by an Englishman named James Junbow. Over on the monitor, we've linked to that video. If you want to click that now, you can go over, check it out. Seems they're going to fight to see who can get more subscribers before my wedding, and then that's going to decide who does it. And finally, we want to announce this ahead of time. Next week, one of my favorite filmmakers from the Indie Mogul community has been featured on this show many, many times since it began last summer. Willem Cernay from the Netherlands completed a 24-minute long movie called Victor Engelman that he shot on his 5D, and it looked good enough that I almost thought it was shot on the red when I first saw it. This guy is a great filmmaker. He always has wonderful contributions to the show, and next week will be the world premiere, and that he'll take it off of being unlisted, of Victor Engelman from Will Cernay. But that is next week. This week, let's get to our first movie, A World Inside My Own. This one comes to us from the wonderfully named channel Flying Monkey Poop. It's about a school janitor who fancies himself a bit of a film noir detective. This movie is very well shot and acted and seamlessly transitions between what's happening in the real world and what's happening inside the janitor's head. It's got a good sense of humor. Make sure that when you check it out, of course, to review it and all the other movies as we go along the playlist, which we are now at. Remember that you can hit the click here to start button over on the side, or you can start from any one of the movies below. I don't know, Chad, ever since, you know, they had to bind your hands. And is that an ankle bracelet? One of those tracker things? Yeah. I don't know. Ever since then, it's a little awkward around you. I feel like I'm doing a show with a criminal.
I am not the criminal. Just did what I had to do, was all.
Oh no, I mean, I was scrubbing his head blood off my stoop for days.
I am sorry about that. I would have cleaned it, but you know, shackles.